if you want me to do the other stuff I promised in the Bible that I was going to do, I need thee to do what you was.
All right.
Jesus said, oh, thee of little faith. Thee of little faith. You have little faith. Why are you afraid? He did, because I need you to hear this, because I don't want us to leave this place being confused about what the Bible is saying. He said, you of little faith, why are you so afraid? He didn't say, ye of little faith, why are you calling on me? He said, why are you so afraid? See, some of us have gotten confused over the times when we thought that because it was raining that we should be able to handle it and not call on him. And he's not tripping on the fact that we called it on him. He's tripping on the fact that we're afraid about the situation while calling on him. See, fear works in the opposite of your faith in Jesus, because I'm telling you, if I'm telling you that I want you to do something, but I'm afraid that you can't do it, I really don't have faith that you'll be able to bring us out of the situation. So if I'm talking to you out of fear, I'm not operating in faith that the situation is going to be okay. He said, why are you so afraid? And then he did a precarious thing. He got up. He didn't brush his teeth. He didn't wipe the cold or sleep out his eyes. He didn't get himself together. He walked out to the bottom of the boat and said, peace, be still. He spoke to the situation, to the winds and the waves. See, and you need to know, see, the winds you can't see. The waves you can't see. So he got on the bottom of the boat and spoke to the stuff that was causing the waves. See, you've been frustrated really about the waves. You really haven't been tripping on the winds, but you gotta know that it's the winds that's causing the waves. And so while you are praying about the waves, God is speaking to the wind. I need you to know that even when you don't know what to pray for, when you come to the master, he'll deal with what's causing the problem and the problem. And it really wasn't the waves that was the issue, it was the wind. But God is saying, I am so powerful that I'm not going to speak to what you're asking me to speak to, but I'm going to fix what it is. You thought that the problem was this. But the reality of it is that it was something that you couldn't see. See, you were really dealing with spiritual warfare and demonic warfare. You thought it was just that you and your wife wasn't getting along. So when you called on Jesus, Jesus said, let me deal from the spiritual aspect of what's going on. And when I deal with that, the stuff that you're talking about don't fall. And so he spoke to the winds and the waves. Gentlemen and ladies, he didn't fight with the wind and he didn't fight with the wave. Many of us are spending time trying to deal with our storms, fighting with the storm. If you're going to fight with the storm, you're going to fight a losing battle. Because if you step out and you come out fighting against some wind that you can't stop in the first place, if you come out fighting as opposed to speaking, the Bible says that the power of life and death is in the tongue. He said the power is in the tongue. And while you are coming out trying to do something in the physical, God is saying you need to be operating in the spiritual. Many of us have been fighting storms physically all our life, and as it's been blowing on us, we've been blowing back, and we're puffing our chest out because we learned how to fight. When the reality of it is, you can save yourself without a heartache and grief if you can step into the spirit there's more power. Because see, when you're doing this, you don't have to operate in faith. Part of it is faith and part of it is your physical strength when you're doing this. But when you step it back and you're saying, by your stripes I'm healed. When you're stepping back and you say that peace shall be over this situation. When you step back and you said my latter days will be greater than my former. Well, when you are sitting there and you are saying, I know that I am crying right now, but after I finish crying, everything is going. And you learn how to step in the spiritual realm and speak to the situation with the authority that God has given you. He's already given you the authority. You're already authorized as a user to the spiritual credit card that is Jesus. But you have to be willing to use it. And look, he showed us this. I'm going to tell you, so that you can understand in totality what Jesus was doing. He was actually showing us. He was being a living example on how we should handle the storms when they show up. So they were tripping, they were running around, they were nervous, and he walked up and he said, peace, peace to you. He looked at him. As he looks at the winds and the waves, peace, be still. And the Bible says, and everything was completely calm. You know where I'm going to go with this. Many of us have been fighting spiritual battles physically. And we've been getting small pieces of peace. We've been getting small pieces of calm. That we'll have a little calm water right here, but the water still be kind of bad over here. That the wind won't be blowing from the east as hard as it was, but it's still blowing from the west, still kind of rough. But Jesus said, if you can learn how to operate at a level of faith, where you can step out on the bow of your life and speak with full authority to the winds and waves. I'm not talking about that fake stuff. I'm talking about the real authority. I'm talking about the authority that comes when you know that you know that you know. And I'm not saying anything against it, but I'm not talking about the new church authority. I'm talking about the old church authority. Because the old church authority, the church being something, and the church will stand up, and the church will say something, something will get done about it. The new church now sometimes get a little commercial. I don't need a commercial church. I need a real church. And so Jesus stepped up and said, this is how you're to handle the storm. And out of his mouth, when he spoke to it, completely everything was calm. I need the type of peace in my life where it's complete. I'm tired of operating on partial peace.
All right, come on. All right.
Many of us have stopped with partial peace and said a piece of peace is good enough. But today, I declare that we are going to operate in the God-given authority that he's placed on the inside of us. And we are going to stand on faith, by faith, with faith, and in faith, and say to our situation, peace, peace. The only way to truly operate in that level